Golf has always been known as a mental sport, where the difference in play can be found in the fortitude of its players. And with the season nearing its end, it's on this Ole Miss squad to be inwardly prepared. But this is no ordinary tournament, in no ordinary place. And if this team wants to make a statement, it will take great focus by some of its younger stars.
You need 2 flags.
Yeah, I'll take both of these.
Chuck it all in there. And I mean, I can put this
Put
stuff in
this
there.
medicine kit in here.
Yeah. It looks...
The 2016-2017 season has had its share of challenging tournaments. But for second-year head coach Corey Henkes and crew, this next tournament has been circled on their calendars since last summer.
Yeah, we like to try to mix it up every year and play a different tournament in different parts of the world. It was a good opportunity, we felt like, to go to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, since it allowed us to go see a different culture. I think it's just a cool experience for these players that we have that come from all over the world to get this opportunity to take a cool trip together, and it's a good team bonding event for them as well.
Fidati ancora di me. You don't know this song? Unfortunately,
Yeah, not that.
it's importante. Okay, I'll play mine. Do you like this song, yeah? La noia quella sera era troppa, cercava, chiamava 200 principi e invece lei era la dama del castello.
Collegiate athletics is all about maintaining a routine. It doesn't matter if you are in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, or Oxford, Mississippi. So while the beach might be within the stroke of your 3-wood, practice comes first. But assistant coach Belt knows all work and no play would make this a double trip.
One of the days that we were there, we went zip lining. We went to a place called Vallarta Adventures.
We had a couple players that were scared of heights, Maria and P, and it was cool to see them get over their fear and have their teammates push them.
I was nervous for 3 months.
I was terrified because I'm terrified of heights. It kind of happened all of a sudden. I thought we would have time to prepare ourselves and be okay, am I going to do this or not? But we really didn't have any time because suddenly we were just flying there.
And in the end, after all the zip lines, we were supposed to jump down like Tarzan in this swing. It was terrifying.
I wasn't as afraid as I thought I would be. It was awesome, and I screamed the whole time, but it was out of joy, not out of fear. That was incredible, and I would love to do it again.
When the team arrived at customs, Coach made it a point that every girl checked business rather than pleasure. In round 1 of the El Tigre Invitational, it was on the team to prove just why. golf is one of the few sports where you can go a whole day without seeing a teammate. Luckily for senior Madison Bentley, it was easy to convince some familiar faces to follow her down to Puerto Vallarta.
I really love having my parents there to watch me because they're really supportive and I know that they want the best for me, and it's just nice because you have your cheerleaders from home there watching you and cheering you on.
Yeah, we're very proud of what Madison has been able to accomplish both through her academics and also through her success, as a freshman and through the last few tournaments she's had.
Like, we've had family vacations growing up, but it's different when your parents get to come visit you at a tournament and watch you and support you.
Well, it's certainly been fun to watch Madison over the last few years. She's grown both through academically, as personally.
I'm watching her mature as a person, just the person she's become. Watching her golf as a little one, 7, 8 years old, and then all the way through high school and now
That's
finish out for. Yeah.
Words don't really describe how much I appreciate that my parents have pushed me and always been there for me in the ups and the downs. I'm gonna cry.
Elsewhere on the course, freshman Palilabi Hermanson was turning heads with her hot start to the tournament.
I had no clue that I was the leader, but I was in a very good mood. My last hole was this par 3 island hole. Luckily, I made a putt and I met my teammates and they told me I was leading.
P played great the first day. She really dealt well with the wind and the tough conditions, and it was nice to see her near the top of the leaderboard, and just looking forward to what she can do for the rest of the tournament.
I think the most excited person to go to the beach was Kai. She was definitely the most excited to get out there and show her boogie boarding skills.
Boogie boarding was great. Me and P got out there the first time, and then Maria joined up. And so we were all boogie boarding, and I had to teach them how to boogie board. They didn't know how to boogie board. And then Coach Drew got out there, and he could not boogie board. He was not as skilled as us.
I'm not much of a boogie boarder because I'm tall and gumpy and uncoordinated.
I was just so surprised of how boogie boarding could be so fun. It's like just a little board and you just catch a wave and then you run back, and it's very simple, but I enjoyed it a lot.
The Rebels headed into the second round just 3 strokes back of the defending national champions, the Washington Huskies. With a lot of players, being near the top of the leaderboard can make anxieties run a little wild. Fortunately for Coach Henkes, senior Maria Tennyson is consistently a calming presence for the team.
Yeah, Maria's definitely a leader on the team. She's our more quiet leader. She just gets things done. She's the first one to load the van, first to unload the van, the first one to be at practice. She's just always doing the right thing.
She's not going to lead by speaking, she's going to lead by example. And I've never seen a player lead by example as well as Maria.
Yeah, I think it's important for being a senior to help out those freshmen and sophomores and juniors as well. Especially being international, I think helping other internationals, when the homesickness and everything. Like Omez, it's a family, making them feel part of the family, making them feel safe here, and being a senior to just make them feel included.
Especially P, coming in, being from Sweden, they can speak the same language. I think she's been like a big sister to P, and I know P's gonna really miss her next year.
Now, looking back at this year, I actually really underestimated how nice it is to have someone from Scandinavian at least.
Like I said, she's just a great all-around person, and we've been so lucky to have her as part of our team.
As Maria continued on with the course, the rest of the team started off the round fairly slow, but rallied late in the day.
So round two, again, just like round one, started off a little bit odd. We started out pretty slow. Two people in particular. P started out slow, and so did Marty. P, she's grown a lot. You know, earlier in her career, earlier in the year, that she would make a double in the first hole, a bogey in the first hole, and you didn't know what she was going to shoot. And for her to come back and shoot, I think a 74, the second round was pretty good. The other thing that was really neat was Marty. I think she shot 5 over on her opening 9, and we had a little talk on the 10th hole, and she got her emotions in check and started playing Marty golf. And again, just like the first day, we kind of turned around the back 9 and played pretty well.
Once again, it was tough conditions, and we just didn't get it done that day. And you know, hopefully we can get it back tomorrow. It is a 3-round event, so you can never give up. You have to keep plugging along and just give it your all in the final round.
That was actually kind of scary.
At the start of the final round, the team was in 8th place, led by 2 top 15 performances from freshman Palilabi Hermanson and sophomore Martina Flori. While the team as a whole had a long way to go, the door was open for either Ole Miss golfer to claim first place at the El Tigre Invitational.
So the fun thing about Marty is she's a good enough player that when she gets her mind right, she can do pretty much anything she wants to. The 4th hole on the golf course, it kind of curls around water, so it's a tough second shot to that green. So we normally were laying up in the tournament, and she said, I'm gonna hit the 4th hole in 2 today. And I said, okay. And we just kind of went on, and she hit a pretty good drive out there, and our range to go for the green was 185 meters. I shot the yardage, and she was 195, so it was outside of her range.
So Drew walked over to 4 with her. I was standing on the green, and Drew was giving me the should we go for it sign. And I said, yeah, you know, come on. I knew Marty was playing well.
And I knew the leaderboard, and she didn't. And she was walking up in the fairway, and I looked at her, and I said, how you feeling today? And she goes, good. And I said, you want to win the tournament? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, if you want to win the tournament, you're going to have to go for this green in 2. She goes, okay. So she gets over the ball, hits it on the green, and I said, you're gonna have to make birdie here and 3 more birdies. And she had, I believe, like 5 holes left. And she goes, no, I'm not gonna make a birdie. I'm gonna make an eagle.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. And I made an eagle there, which took me to 4 under. And I was only like 2 shots behind the lead at that point. So I think that eagle was the turning point.
Flori would go on to birdie her 3rd to last hole, putting her atop the leaderboard with a big opportunity to win it all.
I had 2 holes left, and I knew that I needed 1 more birdie to win the tournament. I tried on my 17th hole, and I kind of missed a makeable putt. And then the last hole is a pretty hard par 4, which I played well. I hit the green, and unfortunately I didn't make the putt. I mean, I didn't know how I finished, but as soon as I finished, I knew that I was very close. How did I finish?
I think you're 1 back from
Martina
leader?
and the Washington girl. They both had shot 2.
Oh, 200.
Yeah.
One shot?
One shot.
Those freaking 3 putts on the first round. Obviously, it's a disappointing finish second by 1 shot because you're very close. But I was like 5 shots behind going into the third round. I was 4 over for the tournament going into the last round, and the leader was 1 under. So I just played the best that I could on the last round, and I tried to do my best, and that's how it went. So I have no regrets, honestly.
Absolutely amazing. It was the best golf that I've ever seen from her, and to see that like twinkle in her eye, like I can do anything I want to. If she shows that more often, she's going to be unbeatable in some tournaments. It's going to be fun to see.
She was right there, had a great chance at winning, and I know it's always a little disappointing when you lose by 1, but there's nothing to be mad about. She did a great job, and I think, like I said, she's got a bright future ahead of her, and I think this is just the spark she needed to keep playing some great golf.
Turn, P, turn!
Do I turn like
Turn that way!
If I want to go there, do I turn like this?
No! No! Go
like
the other way!
Stay straight.
Not the other
No,
way!
no,
Go the other
turn
way!
the other
no,
way.
no!
Go forward. No, not that way. Not that way. Reverse. Turn the wheels. Turn the wheel.
Other way, other way,
The other way. The other way, P.
No. Keep turning the wheel. Keep no,
Straight.
the other way, the other way.
Straight. No, the other way. Oh, here we go. Oh, stop.